Hey everybody, today we have an Epson EX30 LCD projector, older one, that had a problem with the ballast connector. It looks like the old ballast connector probably dried out and one of the wires slipped back. This is the new one, and it burned a little bit on the inside there, so it's not really usable. So it's here for a new connector. So what we're going to do first, let's open it up. And let's see how it really looks. So to get the door open, we just take that off. And there's the connector. It's not too bad. Usually these, when they melt really bad down to the bottom, where this will bubble out and this will actually weld itself to the lamp. It's kind of hard to see, so I can get a light in there so you can see it. See right there? That crust down in there? That's, I'm pretty sure, where the connector slid back. I have a feeling we're going to pull this out and I'm going to see the wire sitting down, hanging out of the back of the connector. Because the lamp was fine. And so, it'll happen. That plastic gets dry over time, and the little barb that holds that, the little barb in there that holds that connector in place can break and the pin will slide back. So we're going to repair it by opening it up and putting a new one in. So first things first, let's get the filter out and zoom you guys out. There's the filter. It's starting to dry rot. I'm gonna see if I have material around for fixing that. And then we have 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think there's one in here. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now the rest of these are just going to fall out onto the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th one is in there. So set that off to the side. Now the top. Is there another one in the back? Sometimes there's one here. Oh, there's an 8th one in there. Forgot about that one. Alright, so 8 screws holding the top on. Top will lift up, and there is a keyboard connection and a video mute door switch. When you open the cover, it's hitting this switch over here to let the projector know it can unmute the video and project the image. And then this obviously is just for the keyboard. So now that we have the top off, we need to get into here. If the ballast is the same, which I think it might be, I may just switch the whole thing, because even the wires are the same. And if that's the case, here's the part number: B1.70 EP4.3D03R805, made by Iwasaki. That's who makes the OEM bulb for a lot of Epson stuff. And to get into that, we do have to take the main board out. So first things first, let's disconnect the LCDs. You really want to try to handle these as little as possible. These creases will break really easily if you're not careful. I'm gonna leave plugged in. I'm gonna probably leave, well, I'm gonna unplug this, but I'm gonna leave all this stuff. I will have to unplug these because I don't think it's gonna let me flip the board over, and I will have to unplug all of this so that I can move the board out of the way. Because we have to unroute the wire. This thing has to come out. It's a bit of an ordeal. It's not ridiculous, but you know, it's not as simple as just popping out a few screws and being done with it. Alright, so they're all loose. That has to come out. One over here. Really trying to take out as little as possible. And that one. So I think now, yeah, we're loose. That's good. There we are. Now the main board's out of the way. We can see the rest of it. Oh, I can plug that one back in. That's for the speaker. This is for the fan that's underneath. Oh, and there's another screw hidden. I always forget about this one, hidden down here. Oops. Oh well, that's okay. So once that screws out, this whole thing lifts up and we can set it out of the way. And where did that screw? There it is. So now this should lift up and we can look. You know, let's see. Doesn't want to pull out. It's just weird. No, either way. Let's look at changing that ballast now. There's 2 screws on the back side that hold that metal shield. And it is a different ballast. So we're going to keep this ballast. And what we're going to do is just replace the wire. It may work, but this one's a PKP K170A, 170 watt. And I think this one might be a 200 watt. I'm not sure on that. I'm going to have to look up the part number. But it's different either way. It would fit, but not going to take the chance of using the wrong ballast and making a good situation into a bad situation. And let's get that up. Disconnect the high voltage. There, now we have the ballast out. So I'm going to desolder and resolder the new one, the good wire in, and then we'll pop it back in. I'll be right back. And there we go. New wires installed. And we'll set this back in. There's tabs, nubs, and clips that hold this in. So we'll just get it under the tab on that side and push that down so it clips in. Get the high voltage DC. And where did I almost forgot where I put that wire. So this goes here. Probably should have plugged this in before I put the board in. We'll set that in. Here we are. And get these screws back in. That's in. So now let's get that plastic, that fan shroud and connector. So this wire comes out there, that one comes out there, and these are keyed, as you can see, big side, little side. Like that. Looking good. Let's get some screws in to hold this down. Let's get that one in. And that one in the back. It's kind of hard to get to. Like that. This one will go in later. And then that one. And then we can put the main board back in and start connecting things. Yeah, that's ready. So let's see, let's get this stuff out of the way. Now the fun part of getting the LCD cables. I get the LCD cables back through. Oops. Come on. looks good. This one in, hold the front down, and then there's one here. Oops, not there, sorry, wrong spot, right here. It's close. And then on this side, now we plug stuff in. So there's the door switch plugged in, power fan, exhaust fan, iris, I think. Let's see, ballast, temp sensor, Alright, those are good. Now let's get back to here. Let's get the LV fan 2 and then lamp fan. Those are good. Now LCD connectors. Okay, let's put this screw back in up here. And then we'll get the keyboard. We'll plug that in. One thing I noticed about the door switch for the lens, or the mute switch, is that it's active when it's open. So in theory you could disconnect it and just make it leave the picture on the whole time. You'd probably melt the plastic though if you closed it with the lamp on. Alright, now let's drop that back down. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put a couple screws in the bottom just so we can test it. I don't want to put in too many in case we have to take them out. But I need to hold the casing down so the door switch can go into place. So I'll do that one, this one, and we'll do this one over here too. Alright, that's enough for testing. So we slide the filter back in and get a lamp. And now we have a fresh new lamp to install. So we have our see, normally I'd edit this out, but I'm going to leave it in. It's a V138010L42 or ELP-LP42. Pardon me. Actually very similar to an LP41. The LP41 has a little tab that sticks up here and a different shaped connector. But our connectors use kind of a general purpose opening that doesn't care where that tab is, so it makes it a little more convenient. And one thing I always do, and if you have any connectors that look like this with the flat pins in them, get a screwdriver, just give them a little push. Not too hard because they will break free, but just make sure that wire's not going to pop down. So when these come in, actually we have the company I work for has a whole quality control department, and the guy who checks these has a tool that pushes on these and make sure they don't pop out. The other thing to look for, make sure these aren't too close together. Sometimes companies want to make them look pretty, and they make those terminals kind of point like that, and they might arc across there. You don't want that. So this is ready to go in. I'm just going to set it on there, drop her down, and then snug these screws down. Just go all the way down until it stops. These do not need to be tight. There we go. Just want them snug. Keeps the lamp from popping off and the connector from melting. That could have been what happened. It could have been their old lamp wasn't screwed in properly. Unfortunately, I don't have the old lamp. The old lamp was already sent back to the manufacturer. So let's plug it in. Got our little power cord there. And let's see, we have our standby light. And we got our beep. And then my makeshift, you can see it there. It says Epson, believe it or not. There we are. There you go. You can see that says Epson. That's the lamp bag. And let's check the menu. Get a little straight. And let's check the lamp hours. Lamp hours were not reset, so we will reset them. Yes. And let's see. Info, there we are, lamp hours 0. That's what we want. So this is good to go. I'm going to power it down, and then I'm going to clean the lens and clean the outside, and then we'll pack it up and get it back to the customer. So if you have any questions about your Epson projector, EX30 or otherwise, feel free to put it down there in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, as always, thank you for watching.